Meet Kevin is a tremendous YouTuber, provides a lot of great content, offers up a course that many people sign up for. And generally speaking, I love what the guy's doing, right? He's really is giving back. He has the way to provide information and entertain that I think is pretty special, and I'm a huge admirer of his. However, I've had a couple of conversations now, because I look at least my real estate investing slightly differently, and I thought I would record this so that I could share this with other Meet Kevin subscribers and whatnot, because while we both are looking to give back, we really are attacking the investing landscape slightly differently. And instead of having these conversations repeatedly, I thought I would put it on video and say, hey, check this video out. So first, let me offer up what I believe Meet Kevin is offering and what he's teaching. He's really focused on finding those wedge deals, as he calls them. If you go back and look at his videos, he gives plenty of great examples. Basically where you're going in, and he does his investing in Southern California, so some of his numbers are perhaps skewed to the rest of the country. But basically, he's buying properties at a discount, right? He's buying, I think his most recent one he got for less than $100,000 less than what the after repair value was. And, that's where he is taking his students. I don't have his course, so I could be way off, but at least given his content online, it is about finding those wedge deals, those opportunities in the market. And he's right, there's little holes in the market where you can find sellers or unique situations where he showed one of his videos. I think he bought a house for 480 and like the one across the street was 600 or something of that number, going from memory now. But that's really what he's talking about. And, it clearly can work for you. As someone who has been investing through multiple cycles, I can tell you I don't look at a single dollar of that value as interesting to me. I have seen quote unquote good buys turn into expensive mistakes, especially as markets roll over. And that may be something Kevin hasn't quite seen yet, right? When you're in an up market, the wedge deals make perfect sense, right? You're buying at a discount, you're getting a better return on your money, and all of those things. However, having lived through the downturn, and I don't know if Kevin has had this opportunity yet. I think he started right in the bottom. A good deal, right? You buy, in his example, something under $100,000 less than it's worth today. 6 months from now, you could be upside down. And if you're buying, something for appreciation or because you have this manufactured or forced equity, it can work. But I, again, have seen markets that crush people that do that. So it's something that I don't like to talk about, right? In any of my purchases, yes, I try to buy at a discount. Yes, I try to buy for as least I can. But that buy will not be part of any of my calculations, right? So when I hear students call me up, or maybe they're sending me messages via Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn on one occasion, they're talking about the wedge deal. I have to stop them and say that's not what I talk about, right? Yes, I know what happens. Yes, it helps your net worth. Yes, all good. Congratulations. But I don't want to talk about that. What I want to talk about is how hard my cash is working, right? That's what I want to know. I want to know, hey, how much cash did it take to get this asset under control and performing? So typically speaking, that's your down payment, that is your closing costs, and any make ready or repairs or whatever you want to call that to bring that asset up to perform, right? So if you buy a turnkey, that number is zero, or at least it should be pretty close to zero. If you're buying a dump, which I do all the time, it could be 40, 50, and maybe if you're in LA, it's 100, I don't know. But that's the idea. So that's the first thing I teach is what's the denominator, right? How much cash do you have to take out of your pocket to control and make that asset perform? That's step one in my equation. Step two is, okay, now that it's performing, what is the expected net cash flow, right? Typically I calculate monthly and then multiply by 12. And then that's my numerator. That's the top number, right? So for example, let's try to use some easy math. If I took $100,000 to purchase and control and bring an asset up to par, and let's say it produces $6,000 in yearly cash flow or $500 a month, that asset in my teaching is a 6% return. That's what I teach. That's what I call a yield. I don't care if I got this asset for $100,000 less than the one next door. I really don't. Because I've seen there could be something about the layout, the view, it could be something that I'm missing that, because values at some level are judgments, at least at some level. Plus, I again have seen markets where if you buy for appreciation, and by appreciation, I even mean that wedge, I've seen markets crush the wedge, right? I've seen markets wipe those wedges out and they become negative wedges. So if you don't have positive cash flow and a positive yield, your money's not working, right? So that's one of the biggest things that I talk about that's a little bit different. Not saying that Kevin talks about negative cash flow or anything that he doesn't. It's not what he proposed to talk about. But there's, again, and I'm only giving this video based on viewership or viewers that have reached out to me. I don't really want to talk about the wedge. Yeah, it's interesting. And yeah, you can tell your friends you made $100,000 and all of that stuff is kind of cool. But that's not what I want to talk about. I want to know how hard your money is working. So how much money, again, does it take to control the asset and make the asset perform? And then what's the yearly expected net cash flow? Those are the only two numbers that matter to me. And then what I try to do, and I try to help my students do, is okay, if you know the math, now what you have to do is go out to your market and figure out what's going on, right? What does your average market perform? So maybe your average market's at 4%. I don't know. But if you know what the average is, you've answered a key question, right? If the average is 4, why would you buy anything less than 4? That's a bad deal. Average is 4. Maybe a good deal is 5 and a great deal is 6.5. If you can learn how to learn your market and understand those numbers, life gets pretty simple. Because I only want my students buying good or great deals, right? And again, the wedge or the part of that is not a part of the equation. So that's the big difference. Again, I wanted to record this. Kevin is doing amazing things. He is helping so many people and so much bigger than I am. But I've had enough of his students call me and we start by talking about different things that I wanted to have this recording because again, both of us, hopefully I can include myself at his level, are trying to help people. And we just look at the equation differently. And maybe this is just because he's a broker and he has a lot more data than I do. Totally possible. I was a full-time employee. I didn't have much time, so I had to just figure out how hard my money was working. Maybe that's the difference in our experience. Again, I've invested through a down cycle, so I have seen, the net, the wedge disappear on people. Right, there were people worth 10 million that were worth 0 because the wedge crushed them. So in the end, I just want to record this because again, I hope more and more of Meet Kevin's students reach out to me because again, he has a huge following. But I wanted to have this video because again, we look at it a little bit differently. All right, everybody, take care. Hope that was valuable. Thanks.